back to the studios, Josh. I can't wait to see the finish of this match. Now both fighters are out of the ring. Do you think Bas has an advantage because he got the last knockdown, so you figure Shamrock has to be a little bit dazed?
Well, the thing about that falling out of the ring like that, and Bas was scoring heavy with the strikes, even from a disadvantageous position, by having his leg up in the air. But when they fell out of the ring, that means that match stopped. It's halted, and now any momentum that was built up has now been stopped. It's been broken up. And this is an opportunity for Frank to try and reclaim the position in this fight and maybe get a lost point or to submit Bas. But Bas Rutten, he wasn't king for nothing.
All right, let's go to the conclusion of this bout. And both fighters are back in the ring. Both seem okay, and I think Bas wants credit for a knockdown on that move. Not going to get it from the ref, though. Now Frank Shamrock back and not shy so far as he's going after Bas in a spinning clothesline by Bas Rutten.
Following up that missed round kick with a back fist. Big strike from Bas. Cuts out the takedown with a nice sprawl. Frank and Bas back on the feet again.
And I think Frank has a cut on the left side of his face that the referee wants the doctor to have a look at.
Curious to see where that came from.
And Frank, of course, Frank wants to continue, and I think the doctor will allow him to, as that cut does not look too deep at this point.
Honestly, knowing Frank, I think if his eyeball was hanging out of his head, he'd still want to continue.
What about both eyeballs hanging out of his head?
Yeah, he's crazy enough. He'd do it.
At that point, I might even fight him. And he will continue. Both fighters in the center of the ring.
Frank, the very skilled catch wrestler, would do wise to try and get this fight onto the ground.
And I think right there, Frank Shamrock grabbed the rope. He can't believe it, but since that is not legal, the ref will assess another point. Now he has 2 points deducted, and Shamrock just laughing, saying, "You can't call that."
Yeah, it looked like he wasn't grabbing the rope for a rope escape. He grabbed it to kick and to hold his balance, but hey, they don't want you grabbing the ropes for any reason whatsoever except to initiate the rope escape. So really rookie move on Frank's part and eating the
nice high left kick by Rutten.
Rutten sort of picking up the pace, finding his rhythm and his distance against Frank, but Frank stuffing him against the ropes, maybe able to get the takedown here, going for the front headlock. Narrowly missing that big knee.
Hey, Shamrock saying, "I'm okay, everybody." And as you saw there, the referee running to the ropes, sprinting there to make sure the fighters don't fall out again.
Another tackle avoided by Rutten as he lands slaps against Frank. Frank just having no opportunity to get a hold of Rutten and bring him to the mat. Frank calling him down there, but Rutten knows where he's being successful, and he's not going to fall into any trap like that.
And Bas Rutten has all the momentum right now, even though Frank Shamrock might be trying to taunt him. Although I don't know how much that's working. Maybe it's working against him and motivating Bas. And a nice two-leg takedown. Frank Shamrock showing signs of life.
Great setup for that double leg by Frank. Following in off the right palm strike into that double, Bas fell right into it. And now Frank's got him finally on the mat. Let's see what he can do with this opportunity.
And Bas Rutten content to maybe even wait him out as you see Frank covering his face. And what is he doing right there? What do you call that punch? Is it even a punch?
The aggravator.
And I'm not sure Bas Rutten even saw that. It looked like Shamrock was covering half his face and using the other hand to strike Rutten on the ground.
Right, he's got to be careful not to have Bas open that cut up even more and then lose the fight. Bas is actually aiming for that cut, it seems like to me, to try and cause it to bleed more.
And both fighters with toe holds right now on the mat.
Yeah, nice toe hold attempt by Frank. Bas following it up. I mean, this has got to be killing me. Just both guys cranking each other's ankles. Bas escaping, Frank staying in there on that leg, sensing an opportunity, going to the other leg, working the Achilles lock. Bas defending, trying to keep that left leg of Frank's from coming over the top.
And Bas is delivering blows to the side of Shamrock's face, and Shamrock just tell him to keep it up. I think Bas will comply.
Frank is nuts.
And Shamrock bleeding from the side of the head. I don't think that was a smart idea, sticking out his tongue to taunt Bas Rutten. And it looks like Rutten might have used a fist on that punch, and the referee is going to give him a red card. He will argue, but to no avail. And Rutten does get assessed a red card, and that hurts, Josh. That's -2 points. Correct that, -1 point. So Rutten's still in the lead. Shamrock not in good shape though, Josh.
No, and because of that, now they got broke up, put back on the feet, and Frank had him on the ground in a leg catch position. This is not helpful for Frank right now.
Both fighters shake hands. I think the referee wants them to, abide by the rules.
Well, I think that if anything, that respect is not something either of these guys have a lack of for each other. Back on the feet, Bas fires a hard left kick. Shamrock catching it, driving him into the ropes, looking to trip and take Bas to the mat.
And the referee there to make sure the fighters don't fall out of the ropes again.
Bas looking for that front choke. Changed over to a cravat. Frank going for the single leg, getting caught in that front choke again.
That is a lot of pressure being put on his neck, but he does manage to snap out of it, and the referee scores that a knockdown.
Yeah, Frank laying on the canvas like that and not getting up, that's going to be called a knockdown.
And he does get up from the 8 count, but the referee, he will let him continue. He's lost 3 points, and the time limit is up. Actually, the doctor's going to have a look at Shamrock's face. He might be cut too deep to continue.
Well, it doesn't look that bad to me, but I'm not the doctor in charge, so it could be anybody's guess.
As we await the decision, Frank Shamrock putting up a good fight, but and as you see, Shamrock's blood is over Bas Rutten's body. Do you know what it feels like to have someone else's blood on your body, Josh?
I actually do. I'm pretty familiar. I was drenched in Semi Shilt's blood at one time.
How bad did that feel?
Well, luckily he was already tested for any communicable diseases, so I wasn't absolutely worried about it.
And they're still working on Shamrock's, the left side of his face. And I think the referee is calling this fight over, maybe. And as we go back to the fight, I'm not sure if Shamrock will continue. He will not continue. The referee stops this 11 minutes and 11 seconds into the first round. As you see there, the Rutten jump is still in the
Frank Shamrock 選手に胴へのダメージが認められたため11分11秒ドクターストップによる TKO でバス・ルッテン選手の勝利となります。ただいまの試合の結果によりバス・ルッテン選手のタイトル防衛となりました。
Bas, this certainly proves that, hey, he was king the whole time. He was champion in that. It was just a technicality that kept him from holding that belt. And a win over Frank Shamrock, no slouch there. That's got to count for a lot.
And Frank Shamrock was the temporary king until Bas took it back from him. And all right, as we see Bas Rutten with his championship belt and the trophy. Now, Josh, I know you are not allowed to keep the championship belt, but what about that huge trophy Bas had?
No, we're not allowed to keep the trophy either. But interestingly enough, that thing weighs a ton. When I won the belt, I remember seeing a picture earlier of Semi Shilt holding the cup in one hand, thinking, well, I might want to try and do something like that. It looks like a cool picture. That thing, I don't know what it's made. I know it's made out of silver and steel and whatever else, but you got to be a serious guy to lift that thing up with one hand.
And speaking of Semi Shilt, we're going to see him right now in our move of the night. And Semi Shilt, this was his debut fight in Pancrase, taking Manabu Yamada. And Josh, he dealt Yamada a whole lot of damage.
Just a devastating barrage of knees, kicks, and palm strikes here delivered to Yamada. As we saw in the after-fight footage, dealing a tremendous amount of damage and showing some of the reasons why he is the two-time K1 Grand Prix champion currently.
And that does it for this week's episode of Pancrase, Legends of Mixed Martial Arts. I'm Rob Wu.
Josh Barnett.
Same time, same place, next week.